So fart and dick jokes. That's how we're gonna start this episode, right?
I, I think you just did. And roll credits. So welcome. This is the cast Backstage Banter. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Saris.
Well, we're happy that you're here.
We are happy that you're here. Yeah. With me is Morgan, as per usual. And Morgan, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm trying something new today, something a little bit different. And if the
Hadn't
audience
noticed
likes
actually.
this better, then they should tell us. Um, so to kind of let people behind the curtain a little bit, typically we plan a topic. I throw together an outline with a bunch of bullet points and facts that I want to have easily at my disposal because I think it's going to come up in conversation. But since I'm historically a chronic overthinker, when the topic starts going on its own kind of path, it throws me off. And then I go into this weird in my head type of element where I'm trying to think of like, well, how do I get to the next point? And what if I don't cover this thing? So no outline today.
No
Just
outline.
gonna wing it
He's
and see
just
how it
gonna
goes.
let the chaos happen. And
Yeah.
anyone who knows me, which obviously none of you know me, hopefully you will get to know me. But I just say whatever I think, and if it happens to
You
be on
sir,
target,
you sir. Oh, I can't even talk. You sir are an agent of chaos.
I
That's
am.
that is your role in this dynamic duo situation we got going on here.
Yes. I do. I'm I'm gonna confess to something right now, Jason. I 100% always read those outlines and deviously think of ways to get off topic.
You know, that's funny because there have been times where I'm like, I think he's purposely trying to derail me. So I feel validated a little bit now. But that's okay. I
I just
mean,
want to talk about what I want to talk
I've been
about.
happy.
I'm
And
an actor. I'm egocentric.
so what do you want to talk about today, Morgan?
Well, recently, so I actually sent this idea to Jason recently, and I'm curious if any of you guys have any thoughts or if Jason has any thoughts. I was talking to a friend about how the industry is right now. And it came up in the framework of he was doing an audition and he needed a reader. So I was helping him out. And we were sort of talking about the state of auditions, like what auditions are we getting, how many auditions. And there's this sentiment, I think, that is pervasive, which is everything seems to be vertical shorts now. And I do get commercial auditions sometimes, and I get the very rare at this point short film or feature film audition. But the majority of auditions are for vertical shorts. My friend that I was talking to that I was helping with the self tape, he was struggling in a very similar way that I struggle, which is if I do this, am I doing what I set out to do as an actor? So a lot of us have a very bright-eyed, like rosy glass vision of what we see ourselves doing as an actor in the future, which is being part of meaningful stories that you see on the silver screen. Whether that's a huge Universal Studios picture or it's an indie picture that goes to film festivals, our our goal as actors is typically to tell meaningful stories that resonate for us, and our goal is to be conduits for the story to bring it to other people. Like I've had this thing since I was in college where it was like if I could change one person's life with my art, then my life will have been a success. And we were both grappling with the question of do vertical shorts provide that avenue for an actor, because vertical shorts are very calculated. They have a very specific goal that they are striving to achieve. So, and I don't know if you've ever gotten any vertical short auditions, Jason, but there are a lot of them.
No, no, I haven't done any for vertical shorts. it's not even, I don't even think it's been that long since I first saw them kind of showing up in my social
It's
media
it
feeds.
blew up. It
It
blew
did,
up.
yeah. So to give a little bit of background, because I have looked into this quite a bit not too long ago, I believe the vertical short bubble, if you want to call it a bubble, started like right before the pandemic, and then because of the pandemic, it ended up kind of expanding it a bit. But it was mostly a Chinese thing. They were piggybacking off the idea of TikTok's success, where
That's
there was a lot
actually
of
that's actually not
short
where it
form.
started. That is where it got big, but there was a company, I forget what it was called, but there was a company that did actually exist in like 2019 and gained traction in
This is
2020. And
this is what
this
I'm talking
company
about.
was like
Yeah.
ahead of its time because
So
it is now defunct. It's not around anymore. And
so I think I know what you're talking about, and we'll get there. But I think what you're talking about is Quibi. Is that what you're talking about?
no, no, there was something before Quibi.
So as I understand it, the vertical shorts thing started 2019, like you were saying, but it was a Chinese company, and maybe this is the same company that you're talking about, but it was a Chinese company that was trying to look at how TikTok trends with current demographics, especially younger demographics, short form, and they decided to leverage that success and make these short form stories that were like a minute to 2 minutes long
Mhm.
and very episodic, lots of
Well,
cliffhangers to kind of keep it going from
I
episode to
think that
episode,
that's
and it saw
generous
a lot of
calling it
success.
episodic.
Well, as episodic as you can get, I guess.
I
But there's a
they do. It
company
does have a
now.
through line, I guess. I guess in that way it's episodic, but it's not cogent.
Yeah, it's either way. There are people that are watching it and they try to hook you to get to the next one. There's always some sort of, it's always some sort of conduit to get you from one episode to the next episode. They have similar characters, which is why maybe there's still episodes, but it doesn't pan out the same way. But now the company that is, I guess, leading the charge on this is a company called Real Shorts, I think it's called, and it's an app as well, and that is based in California,
Hmm.
and they've been around for a handful of years now, and they're it's like a whole thing where you watch an episode for free, and if you like it and you want to see where it goes, you got to pay like $1 for the next episode, and each episode's like a minute or two, and by the time you're done, if you watch the whole narrative, you've spent like $150 on a movie's length worth of content. But people don't think of it that way for some reason. It's getting really popular.
Yeah, I don't know what uh their pay model is. Like I don't because I don't go anywhere near that stuff, but it has gotten very, very popular very, very fast. It's essentially the new soap opera medium. And that's not to say that soap operas don't exist anymore. They still do. I think that CBS is currently releasing a couple of soap operas that release every week. Don't quote me on that. I think, but
Quote them.
it's
Do it.
it's essentially the new soap opera medium, and
CBS. I'm writing it down. CBS
it's
is
all.
releasing new things every
Don't
week
know.
per Morgan
I'm gonna
Elgato.
get the internet's gonna
It's
come for
locked
me.
in. Locked in.
But it's very soap opera-y, right? It's very melodrama. It's very I want to be mindful about how I'm saying this because it's not that soap operas are not to XYZ caliber. It's just that soap operas know what they are. Soap operas are selling you a very specific product, and everybody
Yeah,
involved in that project is selling you that product. And these shorts are the same thing. And nobody that I've ever talked to, no actor that I've ever talked to is like, yes, that's what I want to do is soap
sure.
operas.
Yeah, and I liken it kind of to Hallmark movies because I think to a certain degree it's similar where you look at it, everybody watches it, nobody is emphatically into Hallmark movies where they think that they're great, but it's almost like a guilty pleasure at some point where you watch it because you know it's hokey and you're just kind of curious how it unfolds.
I know.
Nobody is saying that a Hallmark film is as good as something you're going to see in the theater, but people like them for what they are because they're
I
easy
don't
and
know,
digestible.
Jason. I We may run in different circles because I know I know people who will defend Hallmark movies. Maybe not with their life, but they defend Hallmark movies. And it befuddles me, but that's partially because I think Hallmark movies are targeted at females,
Sure.
I- of which I am not. So I don't get it. If someone put a Hallmark deal on my desk, though, I would be more willing to do a Hallmark film over one of these
Sure.
shorts. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it's all degrees of what you consider real acting work. Not again, and I'm not trying to shortchange anybody who does the vertical shorts because I do think that it is a medium that real actors are involved in.
The
You
thing
you
is,
still have
like,
to
I
learn
don't think
lines. You
it's
still have to play a part. I mean,
well, I don't think
there
it's
is
shortchanging anybody because I, I feel like we can be honest about what shorts are, and they're not even quite to the caliber of a soap opera because a real well, a traditional soap opera that a studio makes, there is thought that goes into the writing, and there is to some degree a plot that people are getting invested in. And I have to be honest, I that is not really what the shorts are about. The shorts are trying
I.
to hook you and get you to keep watching, but
But
there
doesn't that
isn't
mean that there
serious.
has to be a lot of thought put into the writing? I
No,
mean, I think that
there's a
that
number of shorts that I have seen. I've not seen casting calls for them, but there's a number of these vertical shorts that I've seen that use AI writers. So
oh,
I don't think that I don't
no
think you
wonder
can
you're
really
already
make the
against
argument that
this.
there's a real plot going on there. It's just again, these shorts know exactly what they're trying to sell you. So I don't feel like I'm shortchanging anyone who works on these projects because I think that any actor that does agree to work on these projects, or at least the ones that I've talked to, they're doing it for the money, really, to be
Sure.
perfectly frank, because this medium is so successful now at this point. It's already like basically $1 billion industry and they pay very well. The At least the casting calls that I've seen, you can get paid.
That's interesting.
You can the stuff that, and it depends if you're a lead versus supporting, right? But I've seen upwards of $1,000 a day. thousand
I'm
dollars a day.
surprised because from what I understand, a lot of these, and it's going to vary based on company, of course, but Real Shorts, who is, the one of the leading perpetuators of these right now, as I understand it, to put through the whole thing, I mean, it's only costing a couple $1,000s for the whole show. That's part of the reason why these are blowing up is because production costs are way lower than it is for a movie. You're still writing 90 minutes worth of content and you still have actors coming in, but they prefer unknowns because they don't command a large salary. And you put this thing together and you pump it out, and people are paying $1 per episode. And again, to watch the whole thing, if it's 150 minutes, you've paid 150, or you get the first one free, so $149 to watch a movie that you would normally pay at what, $30 at a really expensive movie theater.
I
So
think,
there's a
yeah,
lot more revenue coming in based on the cost.
I think that,
So I'm surprised that it would somebody would get that well of a pay unless they're doing multiple. I don't know how it
I
works,
mean,
but
I, I can only speak for the casting calls that I have seen, and
sure.
$1,000 a day is definitely the upper end of it. I've seen a few that pay that. The majority are paying between 600 to 800 a day. And some of that depends on what type of content they're tackling. So if there's nudity required or intense intimacy, simulated anything. But like on the low end, I see $400 or $500 a day, and that's still a very decent paycheck for an actor because
Well, I'm thinking about this now because when they're making these, they're doing multiple episodes at one time.
they have to
Because it's
be
one
because
minute.
it's one
They're one to
minute
2 minute
episodes.
episodes. So you could film a ton of these in the same day. So if
Yeah.
you're getting, let's say, $600 for the day, how many episodes are you actually filming?
I don't know. I've never
I,
actually
I don't
worked
know.
on one.
So,
You know,
I mean, it's considerably less than if you were working in a more traditional project. I mean, when I
Well,
did
some of I don't know
background
that
for a Marvel
that's
movie.
true. I don't know that that's true though, because a feature. Let's take a feature, because that's like,
Mhm.
unless you book series regular on a TV series, which is like the holy grail of acting jobs, because it's the closest thing that we'll ever get to a steady job,
Sure.
because you're on it for a season, and then if it gets renewed, you're on it for another number of seasons, however many it gets renewed for. So aside from that, what actors really want to work on are feature films. And feature films, indie feature films, will film typically anywhere from a weekend to 2 weeks. Now, I think it's absolutely insane that anyone tries to film a feature film in a weekend, but I've seen it. They're not great. It doesn't turn out great because you just don't have the time to film what is necessary to film.
It's
Two
impressive though,
weeks.
and there's actually a lot of there's a lot of competitions that are built on that idea, where it's like I forget what they call them,
There are short
48
film
hour
festivals, but
film
they're not
festivals.
trying to produce a feature length film. They're usually trying
It,
to produce something that's like 5 or 10
maybe it's a
minutes
short or something.
in a
Sure.
weekend.
Okay.
But indies can be like 2 weeks long, and that I actually think should be like the minimum if you're trying to film a 90-minute feature. So for an actor, you're vying for something that's like 2 weeks or longer as far as feature films. And studios, you'll be on that project for months. I think Leonardo DiCaprio did that one film, where I forget what the film was
Titanic.
called. Huh?
Titanic.
I mean, yes, he did that. And that was months. That was literally months. That was like, I think that was a 7 months
Oh
production.
yeah, for sure.
So you're getting paid for every day that you're on set, and whatever you're, or on bigger deals, you make a lump sum, basically, where you're like, I'll do this movie for $10 million or whatever. But 600 for the day for one of these vertical shorts, and most of them work 5 days. So not a lot, but that's a lot. But if you're working for 5 days, if you're booking a lead role on one of these vertical shorts and you're getting paid $600 a day, and it's a 5 day project, that's, what is that, $3,000 for working actor, or for those of us that are trying to become working actors. That is a significant paycheck, and that's where a lot of actors are struggling, because it's like, well, do I take the paycheck because I'm trying to be a working actor, or do
Right.
I hold off for the projects that I really want to do, which are the meaningful ones that create change for people?
Yeah, and that's a tough call because obviously you're putting money before art is always a battle internally, especially for people that get into an industry specifically for the reason of the creative process and the storytelling and how it can mean something. The whole reason why I love films is because I think it makes you feel something in a way that other art
Mhm.
forms don't. And I think that's incredibly powerful. The fact that you can go into a movie theater with total strangers, watch an experience, and laugh with them or cry with them, be shocked with them. And it's a communal thing. I think that's incredibly powerful. So I get why that would be a struggle. At the same time, I guess it depends where your priorities are because if you need to pay the rent. I mean, you got to pay the rent. So
Well,
you're
it's
gonna do what
getting,
you can, but also it's it's also a resume builder. I mean, I
yeah,
don't I get
yeah.
why people would do them. I'm more curious why people want to watch them.
Well,
That's what
and
I'm surprised
this
about.
is this is like the thing, right? Is we as actors, we're having this struggle of, do we work on these projects? Um, and I think that we're moving towards a future where your ability to even ask that question will get smaller and smaller, because this is what audiences want, right? The reason that the vertical shorts are so successful are because people want to watch it. And I think that you can dive into all of the different factors that are making them successful. The primary one that people are pointing to is people just don't have the attention span to watch a feature-length film. So this is providing a feature-length film, so to speak, quote unquote. I would actually push back on that a little bit, but let's just use that as a framework. You're providing a
I find it
feature-length
interesting that you've
film.
reached a point where you push back on your own points now. Like,
You're
it's a
well,
new day.
they
It's a new day for Morgan. Like, here's my point, but I will push back on myself. Don't you worry.
well, because you were saying before that like these are people are watching like
I'm
feature
just giving you a
films,
hard time. Yeah.
but like you're providing what would essentially be a feature film in parts that are digestible to a modern audience, which is bonkers to me
Sort
that that's
of.
a thing.
It's the length of a feature film, but it's not the same arc or journey. I mean, these are very much built. I've watched a few of these. I haven't watched the ones that you pay for. I've watched ones that came up on some kind of social media thing, but I watched maybe a string of like 5 to 7 of them because it does make for interesting what's going to happen next moments.
Oh, they have
And the one that I
phenomenal
saw,
cliffhangers. They have great cliffhangers.
and that's how they're built. I mean, they're specifically built to have 2 to 3 cliffhanger moments or like plot twists per episode, and it has to end on a cliffhanger. This way, you're like, oh, now I got to know what happens. And it did suck me in for a little bit. There was one that I watched where this guy meets some beautiful woman randomly. I don't remember if it was like at the airport or the grocery store or something. And they have their little meet cute situation.
Hmm.
And she makes a comment about how she's going home for the holiday with her family. And she's not looking forward to the fact that they always give her a hard time by not having, a person in her life. So they make some deal where he will come and pretend to be her boyfriend for the family get together. What she doesn't know is that he's actually a multimillionaire. And her family, when they get there, are all the worst. Every single human being in that household are terrible, obnoxious, horrific human beings. And she is the only normal one. She's cute, she's nice, she's polite, and the rest of them are like total D-bags. And they're constantly giving this guy grief about how he is poor because they don't like that he's carrying her bags in a certain way. I mean, like all these things, right? And you're just watching this like, this is so stupid and it's so
It,
hokey. But I
it
just want to
is.
see this guy like, I want to see the look on these stupid people's faces when they realize that he's actually a millionaire. And like 7 episodes later, and they haven't had this moment, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I got to stop. Like, I can't, I've devoted too much time to this and I refuse to give it more. But I can see where somebody else would keep going
It's
to get that moment.
there's a lot about it that is very formulaic. It's almost become like our food. Like if you live in America, I don't know because like this is on YouTube. I don't know who's watching this and where you are, but if you're in America, you
I'm in
know
America.
that our food is engineered to be addictive. And these shorts are becoming like food for entertainment. It's like entertainment food where it is engineered to be addictive. And that's why I said before, I don't think there's really a whole lot of thought that's being put into these plots because all you have to
I
do is figure out what it is that keeps somebody around. In food, it's sugar. And
Sure.
in entertainment, it's these like cliffhangers or these like very visceral situations.
See, I think it's the exact opposite problem with it, that there is too much thought going into these and not in the way that maybe a traditional movie would. Because these are only a minute long, you have analytic data per minute. So anything that somebody is reacting to, these companies can see this episode worked really well because, the whole thing centered around this one event happening. And then they could just keep doing it over and over again. And I think this is an
Yeah.
example where analytics work against the bigger picture because, yes, that moment was successful, but like
I don't know that I know what
you
you mean
can't keep
because I think that once you hone in, because this is how you're able to keep costs low, is you figure out what the formula is, and then you just copy and paste the formula. Like, yeah, I think a lot of
yes,
work went into it initially, but now it's just about
but that's what
repeating
I'm
that
saying is
cycle.
it is somebody is just looking at that and saying, okay, well, we had this success with this thing, let's copy and repeat. And sure, it will work a few times, But
It
that
works.
moment loses
It
its
works.
effectiveness
It works.
every time you
No,
see
I
it.
think it works every time. Here, and the reason that I think this way is because not every single one, but most of the auditions that I see for vertical shorts are something 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 billionaire or billionaire something something or CEO
Sure.
billionaire or my billionaire wife or my billionaire whatever. It's like it's there's this like thing about money that is
Yeah.
the integral plot point for a lot of these. And whether it's the covert billionaire or it's the arrogant billionaire who can't like keep his wife or his wife gets stolen, like there's something about like sticking it to the billionaires that I
Yeah.
think is making these really successful, and we can get into the cultural discussion about why that is, but I think that it is very much a copy paste situation where they figured out what it is, and now you just have to keep replicating it.
I don't see, and this is why I don't think that this is going to be a thing that lasts over time, at least not in its current format. Because I think that when you keep repeating it that way, it loses its impact. Yes, it's successful now, and yes, they can repeat it a few times, but it's still a growing medium. So you have new people that are coming into it and watching these things. When you get the repeat people, at some point they're going to lose interest in it. People talk all about
Disagree.
superhero fatigue now. Where they're saying, "Oh, there's too much superhero movies out there, and that's why nobody wants to go watch them." Now, I
Mhm.
don't agree with that point. I don't think superhero fatigue is really as bad as some people make it out to be. But I do think that people can get fatigued with a concept, and I think that can happen with these vertical shorts, especially if the premise is always the same. The
I
Hallmark movies do the same thing, but they only are big one time a year. So you have
well,
a break and a palate cleanser in between.
I'm almost inclined to get on board with your Hallmark analogy, but
Do
this
it.
is why I
Do it.
very
Come to the dark
this is
side.
why I very specifically brought up the engineering of food, because yes, you can kick an addiction. Like I don't want to turn this into like some sort of talk about addictions, but if you are addicted to American sweets, if you are addicted to American snacks, whether that's the salty chips or it's Twinkies or it's M&Ms or Reese's cups, like whatever it is, if you're addicted to American snacks, you don't get tired of them. They're literally they're engineered to keep you buying them, and we love them. And it's wild to me that they have hacked these shorts, because my personal belief is that they have hacked them in a way that makes them addictive. And when something is addictive, then you don't get tired of it. That's literally the whole point. It's engineered to keep you coming for more. And Hallmark movies are not designed this way. Hallmark movies aren't designed to be addictive. They're designed to sell you a very specific story, and they do that story very, very well. And the reason that it's big in a particular time of the year is because we're all filled with the holiday fuzzies, and it makes us crave that story. But once the craving has expired, then the story doesn't work anymore. These are designed to be addictive. It's designed for you to constantly crave it.
Can I tell you something awful?
It depends what degree of awful.
Yesterday, I was getting hungry. I just wanted a little something sweet.
This
I
is
have a sweet
Jason's
tooth.
snacks confession right here. This is
It is my snacks confession. I have a little bit of a sweet tooth, and usually it's pretty good. So typically in a day, I will get up. I don't usually have breakfast, or I'll have some kind of like oatmeal to start my day, and I don't really feel hungry again until the afternoon.
Mhm.
I usually like to have some kind of big, some sort of hearty dinner, and that's usually my whole eating routine. I end up it's a good amount, a normal amount of size food, but it's usually only across like 2 meals. Yesterday, however, I started getting a hankering for something sweet in the middle of the day, and I went to my kitchen and I found this big
a
bag
zombie
of
Twinkie.
Halloween. No, is that a thing? I found this big bag of peanut M&Ms. Now, I will tell you, I'm
Those
not
are
a
the
big
worst
fan of peanut
M&Ms. What are
M&Ms.
you talking? Those are the worst
I'm not a big
M&Ms.
fan of peanut M&Ms. I'm just not. I mean, so I'm totally with you. I love a good peanut butter M&M. I love the crispy ones, which I don't think are a thing anymore.
They're
Pretzel
not.
ones, those are
Guys,
great.
get in the comments. We need to like bring the crispy M&Ms back. I don't know why they stopped
Bring the
making them. The best M&Ms.
Can we make shirts that say "Bring the crispy back"? Like,
Yes.
I feel like that we should do that. Bring the crispy back, and if you know, you know. I don't think we can legally put M&Ms on it, but just bring the crispy back. Uh, and that also sounds like a good saying to me. I don't know. Maybe we got a
Dude,
good
I'm
slogan.
down. Could be on like a baby
Um,
blue background, like the shirt is baby blue.
yes. Or what color was the wrapper? Was the wrapper
Baby blue.
was it? I thought it was green.
Maybe it
Either
was
way,
green.
whatever the wrapper
Either
color
way.
was, that's the color we make the shirt. So, anyways, I find this bag, and I'm talking like a full bag, not like just a little single serving one, like a full bag of peanut M&Ms, and I'm like, I don't know, just sounds fine because I have this craving, so I have a few, and I go sit back down and start working on whatever I'm working on again. Minute goes by, and I'm like,
They caught you.
I need a
The
little bit
first
more,
one.
dude. Like, I don't know how much time passed. It wasn't much. And then I realized I was dumping the final M&Ms into my hand. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I just ate
Whole
the
bag.
entire bag
A whole
of
bag.
peanut M&Ms in basically one sitting.
That's what
It
these
was
shorts are, man. That's what these shorts
it
are,
was a
dude.
rough moment. But yes, I get what you're saying. These are engineered to hook you or whatever. And people love them, but it's also a new thing, and maybe that's part of it too.
Yeah,
I
okay.
mentioned Quibi earlier. Do you remember Quibi?
I don't remember Quibi specifically. I know about like the sort of history of vertical shorts, and I know that that's one of the companies that tried making it a big thing. I don't know if Quibi's still around,
It
but
is not. So the Quibi story is fascinating. We've talked about Jeffrey Katzenberg on this show before. He's a big Hollywood executive. He was part of Paramount Pictures. He was part of Disney. He co-founded DreamWorks with Steven Spielberg.
okay,
Him
he's a
and
big wig. They get it. They get
he's a
it.
big wig. He's a big wig. So him and one other person, a woman, I forget her name now, Meg. I want to say it's Meg Whitman. I don't quote me on that. They
No,
started
quote him,
Quibi.
guys. Quote him.
Oh, you're turning
It's
my own
coming
thing
back.
around
It's
against me,
coming
Amanda.
back, Jason.
You. Let's bring the crispy back. Um, so they decided they were going to start this endeavor called New TV, and the whole idea was that it could be vertical television in small pieces. And eventually, they realized that New TV was a terrible name, and they decided to instead rebrand it as Quibi, which was short for Quick Bites. And they made this huge marketing push to try to make the word Quibi a well-known thing like Google, right? So they would have, I gotta check out this Quibi, or they would make it a verb where it's like, I'm just gonna Quibi this real quick. And they had this
Oh,
big thing, and it was going to be like this huge, like revolutionize
no.
television. They
No.
made it was a vertical format. Everything was 5 to 7 minutes long, so it was longer than these vertical shorts are now. But they got big studios involved, big actors involved, and they were projected to have about 7 million users within the first year. So they launch, and they launch with this 3 month free trial, and they get about 3 million users right off the bat, which was low, but still there. Once the 3 month trial happened and expired, it dropped down like a ton. Everybody bounced. And 6 months after it started, it was done and they were gone. They spent millions and millions, and I'm moving my camera around. They spent millions and millions, and it was all for nothing.
Yeah.
They it was a colossal failure, and but it was the first. And actually, I don't think that their ideas for Quibi were all that bad, but I think the execution was terrible. They spent too much money on a Super Bowl
Yeah.
ad to get the word Quibi as a thing, and they didn't own any of their content. They were just buying it from other studios, which was another failure. That was no good either.
Yeah, I think trying to make it a verb, I think, is definitely a weird strategy, but I think the fact I wonder what actually caused it to fail. Because if the idea is solid, which we now know that it is, then what was off-putting about it that caused Quibi to fail? because
It was
now it's a
it was too expensive.
what were they
That's the
charging?
problem. That's the difference between. So right now, so at the time, all of the Quibi episodes were 5 to 10 minutes long. So they were not as short as these are, but you would pay $5 a month for a subscription to
Okay.
Quibi, and if you wanted no ads, it would be $7 or $8 a month. Where the current format with these vertical shorts, you get the first one for free, like a taste. You gotta. It's like your drug dealer just giving you a taste, and
Yeah.
then when you want more, you pay $1 for the next episode. So people do spend more on this method, but they do it in a way that they don't realize it as much because there's no monthly
Well,
subscription.
it's
Plus, the
they're
costs are so
micro
much lower.
they're
It's like
microtransaction.
microtransactions,
It's
yeah,
a microtransaction, and this is a
for sure.
well-known thing about microtransactions. And if we have any
They're awful,
gamers
yeah.
in the community, you know this very well, which is microtransactions are also designed to be addictive. The whole point is that it's low, low, low cost, but it's like literally per item that you're buying stuff. And because it's so low, low, low cost, they can convince you to buy a whole bunch of them. And it
Right.
ultimately results in you buying more, spending more money than if they were to say bundle things and sell it to you for $20. So I definitely think that there's something to be said about the model that they're using, which is an addictive model.
Yeah. The other problem is that it was not good for social media. They would not allow any clips or anything to be shared on social media platforms from Quibi, where you see this stuff in social media feeds, and that's what brings people into the loop is they catch part of it on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, and then they want more, so then they go over to the platform and start paying for more episodes. You didn't have any of that. So they had all this content that they spent all this money on with big names like Liam Hemsworth and Anna Kendrick and all these like shows and all this. But nobody knew that they were there because they weren't allowed, nobody was allowed to share it anywhere or do anything with it.
See, that's wild.
So
I
it
actually
just,
didn't know that they had A-list celebrities as a
yeah.
part of those projects because one of the big things with how these new companies are tackling it, Jason said this earlier, they're specifically targeting new talent. They're specifically trying to find
Mm-hmm.
people that are unknown,
It keeps your costs
probably
down
to take advantage of them to some degree, which
for sure.
I mean, that's a whole other conversation.
Because the thing is, these new vertical shorts, at least all the ones I know of, fit a similar format to what you described earlier. When Quibi was around, they have a lot of different types of formats. Like they were trying to be the new HBO in town, where
Right.
HBO came in and revolutionized everything. And some of the stuff I think would actually make for really great content, especially in a short form format. They had like a doghouse show that would be like you build an elaborate doghouse. So instead of being this build your fancy, because there's a lot of those in HGTV now where you build your dream home, it would be building a dream home for a dog. I
Mhm.
swear to God, I'm sure people all over the internet would be all over that show if that was just a thing you can watch on
Oh
like a
yeah.
YouTube short. That would
Oh
make
yeah.
that would kill. Even the Anna Kendrick show, which I forget what that was. It was something where it was I think she was friends with a sex doll, which is a weird premise, but it was supposed to be very funny. These are kind of things that
Sure.
I can see the potential moments to hook people and get them in there, but
Yeah.
you have to get the content in front of people's eyeballs first, and they were
I'm gonna
not doing
make
that.
I'm gonna make a prediction, and this to some degree relates to an earlier episode that Jason and I did, where we were talking about film gimmicks. I'm
Hmm.
not sure which episode that is, so if you're interested, you can find it
We can
somewhere
link
on
it.
our YouTube. um,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna make a prediction because Jason had brought up earlier. I don't know how you can continue making this be like a popular medium. I'm personally of the mind that it's addictive and that ipso facto is gonna make it popular forever because they've already hooked everybody. Everybody's an addict now. But I'll make a prediction assuming that Jason's correct and the audience at
I'm
some
always
point,
correct,
except when he's
except
wrong,
for when I'm wrong. I'm always correct. Yeah.
we got to put that on a shirt. and it'll have your name at
And
the bottom, Jason.
yeah,
Jason Saras.
except for when I'm wrong, I'm always right. Quote Jason Sayers. Yeah.
But if audiences were at some point to get tired of this, I think that a way that you could in this, I think would actually be a fantastic medium for the choose your own adventure gimmick,
Mm.
where if you pay $1, you can have this ending, or if you pay $2, you can have this better ending.
I'm going to make a prediction as well because I think I know where this is going to go. And I'm curious if we can revisit this in a couple years and see if there's indication of one of us being right. But this is where I think this is going to go. Right now, it's very popular, and it's very popular because it's profitable, and it's profitable because it's a company that's doing just this for very low cost and that sort of thing. I think that bigger companies are going to see how the little company is making a bunch of money, and you're going to get places like Netflix and Amazon
They
Prime
already have.
and
They already have.
and
Warner Brothers.
Hulu
Warner Brothers has already made an official announcement that they are creating a vertical shorts subdivision. They're already. It's already
on their
happening.
streaming platform,
Well, they're gonna produce
or
it
you
like
mean with
as their
this other one?
studio. They're gonna produce it as Warner Brothers Studio, and I don't know if it'll go onto their streaming platform or if they're gonna make a different platform for the vertical shorts. But you're already seeing legacy companies get in on it.
Hmm.
It's happening. It's already happening.
So a lot of these studios did the Quibi thing, like they made content for that. I didn't know that they were doing it for this version of vertical shorts.
Well, Warner Brothers is the only
But
one who's made an announcement so far. Like they're the only ones that are
okay,
officially in on it. But there's
I'm
hum around the industry
I'm
that
curious if it's going to be content for real shorts made by Warner Brothers or if they're going to plug it in. Because I think the end state of this is that these companies are going to produce them for their platforms, and that's going to eventually drive this short reels out of business. I think
sure.
people are going to put more money into it, and it's going to become a format that is more professionalized because people are dumping more money into it. So it won't be as hokey, but it will, instead of being in the model of getting you to pay $1 every time, it might start off that way, but it'll be another way to get people onto your platform,
Mhm.
or they'll monetize it through current social media, because I think that that's the play. Like right now, Real Shorts is doing great by offering it through their site and you pay it per dollar, but I still don't think that this is mainstream. A lot of people are doing it and
Uh,
it's doing well for them,
It's
but I don't think
pretty.
the majority of audiences
What
are
do you
doing
mean?
that
What
right
do you mean
now.
by mainstream? Because, like I said, it's already projected to be a $1 billion industry. It like
Sure.
they have lots of subscribers. It is it is a primary form of like media consumption. It's like it's up there with YouTube Shorts and
YouTube
with TikTok.
short form videos, yes, but does that mean specifically the ones that we're talking about where you're paying for them? Because I think a lot of these, the numbers that I've seen, to me, suggest that it's just talking about watching vertical shorts, which you could do for free on YouTube or Reels or Facebook or whatever. And I think that there's going to be a lot of monetization that comes from that. And I think that that's going to be the play for a lot of these companies where you're not charging the watcher to buy it, but you're getting the ad revenue and the streaming value from it.
Sure.
I think that that's where it ends up landing, because at some point, the novelty of it being this thing where, oh, I got to see how they're gonna screw over the billionaire for another dollar, is gonna wear off. Where it's like I've paid the dollar so many
See,
times,
I feel
and
like
it's so
you're
popular. I think it'll get lost.
I feel
I don't
like
think it'll
you're
last
I
forever.
feel like you're very focused on like what is the plot that's driving the success of these. And I don't think that that is the thing that makes them successful. I think they've literally identified like how to hit you with dopamine. So they can
Okay.
literally copy and paste any idea, whether it's small town boy or city girl or wealthy CEO billionaire or like whatever like broader thing you want to apply to the template. The whole point is they've ironed out what the like addictive template is. Like if I hit them with like a plot twist here and I leave them with a cliffhanger here, then they will come back and they will watch the next thing. And it literally has nothing to do with the plot. It's just like
I
I'm
I
providing this like hit of dopamine. Like
yeah.
it's an addiction.
I totally get what you're saying. I really do. And I do agree that it's going to sustain them for a while. But I think at some point, people are going to want more substance again. And it's going to fall off because either you
I don't know.
want
Said no
no
drug dealer
substance.
ever. Said no said no drug addict ever. Like once you get the first hit, like yeah, the whole point is that after the first hit, it's like sort of dampened because your system becomes accustomed to the drug. But you continue to chase it because you're like, but I felt this way like way back when, and I need it. I need it.
I just think there's only so many you can watch before you're like, I give up on this, which is exactly what happened to me when I tried it. I went through 5, 6 episodes, 6, 7 episodes. So this way we can get all the young kids into this.
6, 7.
Episode 6, 7, 6. Um, but I watched like 5, 6 episodes, and it had me with the plot twists, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe this now. Oh, are you kidding me? This is so stupid. I got to keep watching. And then eventually, you're just like, this is not worth my time because there's not going to be a payoff in the end of this. There's nothing satisfying from it. So I think eventually, I think that line is different for people, and I'm sure I'm not the target demographic for this, which is probably why I bowed out quick. But I think that even the people that are the prime demographic, unless it evolves in some way that it also includes more substance, I think it's eventually going to start to wear out. And either that or the big studios will just ruin it anyway because they're going to make that same content, but make it look a lot better and have some better
I
qualities to
think
it. And now
that
you don't have to pay for it.
I think that if that slant had held any water, soap operas would have gone by the wayside a long time ago. And that's one of the reasons why I don't think that that is true
You're
because
forgetting the fundamental difference, though, that to watch the entire soap opera, you can watch all 8,000 years of General Hospital or whatever, however long that show's been on. Is that still on? I don't know.
yeah, I think so.
Young and
I
the
think
Restless,
so.
whatever those shows are. Those shows have been on forever. And yes, they have similar ridiculous premises, crazy plot twists. But the difference is that you don't pay for them. They're on your television. You could just turn it on. You have to actively say, here's another dollar, give me another one. Here's another dollar, give me another one.
I don't think you
And
I genuinely don't think that we're in the same boat in our view of microtransactions because the reason that I avoid microtransactions is one, I think it's a waste of money, but two, I know it's addictive. If you start if you start uh if you bend the knee to the microtransactions, there is something that triggers. I genuinely I don't know what it is, but there's something you're like, oh, this wasn't it's like going to the gas station and buying the like $2 Reese's cup when you can go to the supermarket and buy a big bag for $10. It's literally that difference. It's like I'm here, I can just pay the $2. It's not a lot. Like it's these
I don't think those things
microtransactions
are
are
on par with each other.
dangerous.
The gas station example, you're talking about convenience versus the dopamine hit thing. The dopamine thing, I do think is a thing to a degree. I have bought microtransactions in games before, and there is something to say like, oh, I want to get that unique piece, or oh, I'm hoping for this cool limited edition whatever. But I don't think it's the same thing with these. Like, yes, they're engineered to give you a dopamine hit, but it's not. I don't know. You're not getting. I just don't see people doing it indefinitely.
I
Even
think it's
microtransactions. You
I
have some of those people
I do.
that'll be on, what is that, World of Warcraft or StarCraft, or whatever, where they'll just buy every kind of update, or Destiny people that will buy the next Destiny update or cosmetics or whatever.
Yeah.
But majority of people don't do them all. They build those this way. A lot of people do some of them, and then collectively they've gotten enough revenue from it that it made it worth the time of doing those. So I don't know. I don't think that they can last forever. I think at some point there's not enough substance to keep paying for another minute that you just know you're going to just have to pay for another minute. People buy microtransactions with the hope that that's the last one they need. I'll get the thing
Well,
I want, and then I'll be satisfied.
that's what they're preying on.
But there
It's
is no
just a dollar.
satisfaction in this.
It's just a
just gonna.
dollar.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
I guess
just a
time will
dollar,
tell.
Jason. It's
It's just
just
a
a
dollar.
dollar.
Bring the crispy back.
That's That's what and I think it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. I mean, I'd love to hear what other people think in the comments. Let us know if you think that we're like way off. I genuinely think it's an addiction, though. I think that you had a point where Quibi got it wrong with the price model because it is
Yeah.
if it's 99 cents, it's like, well, who doesn't have 99 cents to spend?
But I understand why they would do it that way because that's the same thing for the Netflix, right? You're paying a monthly subscription, then you get all the content that you want. And in theory, Quibi was like, hey, you can get all the content you want for
Sure.
$5 a month. So I don't know. I don't like the individual self-serve thing to get a whole complete. Like I would rather pay $5 to get all of the stupid shorts I want in a month. Then maybe I would sit there and binge through the whole series line just to see where the twists and turns go. I'm not buying those for one episode at a time where I got to pay for each one. That seems insane.
It might be, but the thing is, it works. Your
Anyway,
surprise is
you want
shocking.
to do some you want to do some trivia?
Do I want to do trivia?
This one might be fun. This is guess the movie by the picture.
We did one like this though, and I failed really, really badly.
You've kind of failed all of them. We've not done well on these, but I'm hopeful,
I think
Morgan.
you've
I'm
been doing
hopeful.
better than me, Jason.
Probably I've seen a lot more movies than I think you have,
Which
or at
is
least the ones that come up in these quizzes.
no, I mean like it's true. I get I get it from both ends all the time about how I don't watch enough movies, and I'm just like, who's got the time? Maybe I need to sign up for vertical shorts.
There you go. There you go. And we have come full circle. All right. I'm going to share this screen here. Hopefully, we can make this work. All right. This is brought to us by triviacreator.com.
This
And
looks
apparently,
like
there's a timer on it.
Dude,
Dude, I can't
Inglorious
even stop
Bastards.
the
Is that one of the
timer.
choices? This looks like Inglorious
It
Bastards.
is. I'm going to select it because we're almost out of time for that one. Apparently, it only gives you 20 seconds to do this. And it was. It was, in fact,
Yeah, that one
Inglorious
looks like
Bastards.
okay. What's this one? This
This looks
looks
like
like
Titanic, I'm
I don't
thinking.
actually think it's Titanic. It kind of looks
No,
like
maybe.
Titanic, but maybe I think this is Road to Perdition.
Oh, yeah. It could be. The period looks right for it, so
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll go Road to Perdition. Have you seen that movie?
Nope.
You must have. It was
Oh, it was
Titanic.
Titanic. Which
All right.
still is
I wish
this
this could
movie
be
from?
bigger.
Get Out. Staircase. Is this Silence of the Lambs? I've never seen Silence of the Lambs. I don't know.
I think I'm going to say 7. It's just the staircase. We're looking down from it.
Down,
I feel
yeah.
like that's one where they're
Or is it Get
chasing.
Out? Oh, what if it's Get Out?
I don't think it's Get Out. I think Get Out is more on a
Oh, it is
plantation.
Silence of the
This was
Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs. All right. All right. Here we have a foot through the
Is
windshield.
this The Godfather? I feel like this is The Godfather.
You know, I've never seen The
Or
Godfather,
or
which I
Pulp
know is
Fiction?
insane.
How have you not seen The Godfather and I
I know.
have?
Everybody always says that. I've never seen
No,
it.
no,
I
no.
know.
And I have.
That's even more wild. I mean, everybody has seen The Godfather except for me, but I have not.
I feel like this could be.
It
Oh, it
was The
was The
Godfather.
Godfather.
Free Willy.
Is it Free Willy? Jaws. It's
No,
probably
probably not.
Jaws.
I
Oh
think
no,
this is
wait, no, no,
Jurassic
no. Is
Park.
this Forrest Gump?
I don't know. You want to go Forrest Gump?
I feel it could.
We'll go
It's either
Forrest Gump,
Jaws
but
or
I think it's
Forrest.
Jurassic Park.
Had this. I don't think this is Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I think.
If
You
this
see
is
this, and then you
Jurassic
see some
Park,
pterodactyls
I
flying
lose my
by.
Jurassic. Oh,
Jurassic
this is
Park.
Jurassic Park.
Yep. All right. This looks like.
I think this
Oh,
is
I don't
Saving
know.
Private Ryan. Isn't this when they go and talk to the family of Private Ryan?
Yeah, might be. I'll agree with you because it seems plausible. I don't know what Midway is or the Forgotten
Midway's
Battle,
another
but I
war
don't think it's
movie.
Top
A
Gun.
good movie. A good movie. Highly recommend. It is Saving Private
Yeah,
Ryan.
it was. So here we have a bridge of some sort.
Um,
Oh my! I've not heard. I've heard of Lady Bird. I've not heard of these other ones, and I've not seen Lady
I don't
Bird,
know
so I don't
any
know
of
what this
these.
is.
I don't know any of these.
I'm
So
going.
the
That looks like a
eighth grade.
French bridge to me. I'm going
This
French
looks like
Dispatch
a
because
how does a bridge look French exactly?
it doesn't look like it's 8th grade to me. So I don't know.
Lady
Yeah, it was
Bird.
Lady Bird. All right, so here we have some kind of what is it? A mall?
I don't know, but it's
Um,
colorful and it looks like it's in LA, so I'm gonna say
it
Boys
also
in the
looks like it's
Hood.
the '80s. You're going Boys in the Hood.
It
I'm gonna
could be
say Escape
Escape
from
from
LA,
LA because it looks like it definitely takes place in LA. Where does Boys from the
which
Hood
I think
take place?
I don't know. It
Oh,
was
it was
Clueless. Oh,
Clueless. Oh, okay.
that's surprising. All right, so here we have a long stretch of road, a red car driving down it. It's kind of overcast. I don't know, man.
I'm gonna guess The
Um,
Shining because it's overcast, but maybe it's this could be Truman Show.
I
It could
don't
be
think it's
Truman Show.
I don't think it's Brokeback Mountain. I I I don't know. It was
Oh, it is
Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback
All right.
Mountain.
I don't think I've seen that movie either. All right,
Screen
here we
grab.
have
Woman. Okay,
this is
so the
so
Midnight
small.
Promising Young Woman, Parasite, or Moonlight. I think that's
Oh, it's
Parasite.
Parasite.
I
I've
think that's
seen
Parasite because
Parasite. Yeah,
that's the thing
because
with
they
the
go down
basement.
into the basement. Yeah. I'm not submitting the answers officially, so it's going to tell us we got 0 out of 0 at the end of this. There we go.
Oh, okay. I
So
don't
I
know
don't know
how
what
many
our
we
score
got.
was, but I think we got about 6 out of 10.
Not bad.
Seems I thought it was about that.
Not
That's
bad. Not
probably one
bad.
of our better ones. Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you've only got 10.
When you've only got 10 to work with, is
Well,
a
no.
D, which
Anyway,
again I think is a passing grade, even though it's not good.
it's not. It's
You
60.
argued that
Six
D's
out
are
of
still
10.
fails.
65 is passing. So anything lower than 65 is fail.
That I've never known it that way. I've always known it as 60 and up is passing.
Maybe it's
But
dependent
I
on
like
where
it.
you go to
I mean,
school.
yeah, maybe. You know,
But
when I was young, my dad, I never got F's in school or D's,
it's
but
very
when I
hard
was
to
young,
get an F, I feel.
my dad said that his school used to have E's. Like what
What is an
school
E?
system is grading with an E? I've never heard of anybody else say that,
Is
but he
an
swears they used to have E's.
is an E
It was E
lower?
instead of F.
Right, but oh, it's E instead of F, so it's still failing grade.
Yes. So you would
Oh,
have A, B, C, D, and E,
okay.
which I guess makes sense because it comes in order. But that seems so bizarre to me. Like, can you imagine seeing an E on your paper? Like, yeah.
I mean, I never got a letter on any of my papers. I was homeschooled, so I
So you
can
could have used any type of
I could have
format
put
that
a
you wanted.
pumpkin on mine.
Your parents are like, Morgan, you did a great job. You got 7 guitars out of 8 pandas. That was
It's
fantastic.
yeah, like I only know 65 is passing from media, and I thought that that was just that was it across the board, but I guess not.
I Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood it. And thankfully, I was never in range of that grade, so I didn't know.
I
But
look,
yeah, I always thought it was 60.
honestly, to fail, I think is actually kind of wild because if 60, even if we go with your rubric and it's 60, that means that you have to get nearly 50% wrong on any given task in order to fail, which in my mind, that's just like sort of mind blowing to me. And I don't know if it's just because I I guess I have a natural inclination towards education, but like if you put just a little bit of effort into listening during a lesson, you will get at least 50% of things correct. Like I don't like I feel like it's actually kind of hard to
Yeah, I
fail.
would. As an older child or like a college student, I would agree. I think I can understand it more for like a younger kid, like where let's say you have undiagnosed dyslexia, maybe, or
Which I had.
maybe you just really don't understand, or sometimes kids, just they're not maturing at the same rate as other kids. So I can understand that it happens, but I think as an adult, like if you're college age or you're going back to school, if you're legitimately trying, it would be crazy to not at least get a D.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's one of my three radical takes, which is that it's hard to fail, marketing is sexist, and we're gonna turn vertical shorts into gimmicky choose your own adventure stories. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments.
Yeah. So I guess to wrap up, vertical shorts. They're a hot take, or they're a hot new medium, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't
Although
think
Morgan
so.
and I do
Jason seems to
disagree.
think so, but I don't
No,
think
I
so.
I agree that they'll be around. I just don't think that they're gonna be. I don't think they'll look the same. I think
Sure,
they'll change and evolve over time. But
sure,
either way,
sure.
it'll be an interesting ride to see. And if you have a favorite, let us know what's actually worth watching in this format. Because I've seen a few and I wasn't wowed. So hopefully you have something
And
better
what
in mind.
platform? Let us know like where you watch them. Like I'm curious about that because we talked at length about Quibi and how Quibi is defunct
Yeah.
at this point. So I would just be curious where people because I see them like if I'm scrolling through YouTube Shorts, but I'm just curious where people are seeing them.
Yeah, me too. And I'm curious what like at what dollar point would people no longer be interested in those? If you do watch them and you pay for them, what would be your line? Because I can't imagine you would take that content regardless of the price point.
Sure. Yeah. It's a big wide world out there, and we just would like to hear your thoughts on your corner
They
of
should
it.
put it's a big wide world, and I feel like they should make some sort of, I don't know, worldwide web for these things to live on. Just something that shows the interconnectivity
Oh
of our
man.
whole world. I
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there, just
Jason
spitballing
coming in
ideas.
with dad puns, with the dad puns, man. That's
You're
okay.
welcome. You're welcome.
Well,
Let's keep it. We're bringing Crispy back.
dude, we really should. I feel like that's gonna be our line of merch, but
I think it may need to be the episode name. And it won't make any sense, but I feel like it should be the
hey,
episode name.
we can. But I guess we'll talk about that in post production. But for now, that is a wrap on Backstage Banter. What is it? Keep the reel rolling, and we'll see you in the next scene.
That's close enough. Bye, everyone.